My name is Julia Huang, and I am the CEO of Intertrend Communications.
Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. And so could you tell us a little bit about your role at Intertrend?
Well, I am the CEO of Intertrend, so I really basically oversee everything. But as many CEOs will tell you that we don't do a whole lot. Most of the heavy liftings are done by our very capable team members.
But obviously something inspired you to start this company and be a part of this and build this team. So can you talk a little bit about that?
I would say that the company was established under a lot of naivete, that we didn't realize, what advertising agency work entails. I personally do not have any agency background. I never worked for any advertising agency. So the only thing that kind of inspired us to start the business is that we looked at what was done at that time. This was in the late 80s, early 90s, and we said, we could do better than that, right? So we could do advertising to Asian Americans better than this. And that was the sole reason that we said that we will start doing this.
And it lasted over 20 years now, or more, actually.
A lot longer than
that.
Yeah,
yes.
Which is kind of scary, isn't it? Yeah, yeah.
So what have you seen that's changed over these times in the multicultural market?
Yeah. We just finished that panel with the so-called pioneer panels. It's the old people panel, but we talked a little bit about that in terms of what got us into the market, what kind of evolutions we've seen. I think that a lot has changed, and so I'll talk a little bit about, because the question that you asked was what has changed, right?
Yes.
So first of all, I do think that the brands and corporations are much more educated about this segment, about the Asian American market. So when we're talking to the brands, we don't necessarily have to educate them about the Asian American market. They already know about the demographics and the basic information. So when we go in, luckily and fortunately, we're able to go in and pitch what a great job we can do as an agency. So that has changed a little bit, that the narratives of when we go in pitching an account is not about educating the clients about the Asian American market, but how can we very, very effectively and efficiently market to the Asian American market. So that has changed a little bit. What hasn't changed, and we talked about this a little bit, is that it's still considered to be quantitatively insignificant in some categories, that it's still a small market, and that there's this constant struggle of needing to fight for appropriate budget to do things effectively. And I think that hasn't really changed. It's a constant struggle, or challenge, I should say, to get appropriate budget and appropriate attention by the brands for this market.
So with all these changes, though, do you see any great opportunities, though, now as the markets evolve, the generations are different, how people think is different?
Oh, absolutely, right? So I think the theme of today probably is going to be, it's really a great time to be Asian American, right? I mean, the representations are starting to grow. You're seeing a lot more Asian Americans in all categories. I mean, we used to joke and say that if you're Asian American, you're either a doctor, a dentist, a CPA, or a lawyer, right?
Yes.
And heaven forbid that you're an Asian American musician or artist or actor or actress or agency head, right? So because people, the older generation didn't quite understand what exactly is it, or that they were worried that this is not going to be, you're going to die of poverty or something like that. But nowadays, it's not the case, right? Like, I mean, every category of cultural platform, Asian Americans are disrupting that platform. You look at food, you know, David Chang, I mean, Eddie Huang, and all these like wonderful Asian American chefs are disrupting that business. Fashion, Jason Wu, right? Philip Lim. I mean, they're all like top of the game, and they're musicians as well as actors and actresses. So from that standpoint, there are so much more opportunities, and that we don't need to be confined in saying things like, oh, we'll do in-language advertising and marketing for you. We can do insight-driven advertising and marketing, and not necessarily just targeting the Asian American market. That affinity or what Asian Americans have affinity towards, the general market will, you know, have. I mean, none of these disruptors like David, you know, Chang or Jason Wu is going around, or Constance Wu is going around saying, I'm going to act just for the Asian American market, or I'm just going to cook for the Asian American market, or I'm just going to design fashion for Asian American market. They're using their sensibility and sensitivity and their background to create something that has mass appeal, and I think that's where the opportunities are going to be.
So I think that's also your advice to all the new marketers
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
in the multicultural market,
Yeah.
targeting Asians,
Yeah.
is to not only focus on in language.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So,
Yes. And you know, the language is still very important, right? I mean, if you talk to people doing Hispanic market, no one is going to say, oh, we're not going to do an in-language advertising or communication. I mean, for Asian market as well, I mean, that's you know, I would say that the complicatedness of Asian American market from an in-language standpoint is also, you know, adds to some brands' hesitance of going in, right? And we all know, which is the truth, is that there is really no Asian American market. There is Chinese American market, there's Vietnamese American market, there's Korean American market, there's Hmong American market, and Thai American market, but lumping us all together creates this scale and mass that seems to empower us, which we should take advantage of. But when it comes to really targeting the market, it's a little bit of a different kind of a challenge.
yeah. So is there any advice that you can give to marketers to help engage the Asian American consumers?
Because this is a 3AF conference, my advice to the marketers and the brand is to retain a 3AF member agencies or media to help you out in terms of targeting the market. But, you know, joking aside is that there are professionals that can help. I mean, even just to get knowledge, you know, understand the market. I mean, there are professionals, you know, whether it be agency or consultants or media, that can help you get that knowledge. And I do think that that's really the easiest step of for marketers and brands.
And I actually agree with you, because I've seen other clients that have reached out and tried to hit the Asian market, but didn't look for professionals and didn't look for experts, and their campaign failed miserably.
Yeah.
So thank you for your time, and thank you for starting Intertrend.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you.